I welcome you all to another episode of India Ireland Flagship Lecture Series. It's my privilege to introduce and welcome our speaker, Mr. Sandeep Khuperkar, CEO and co-founder of Data Science Visit, Deep Tech AI startup, and its flagship platform, Unify AI. Mr. Khuperkar is a highly experienced leader with 28 years in technology and over 20 years of expertise in open source. Today, he'll share his thoughts on the topic ILEC as a hub for Indian startups. Mr. Khuperkar holds a Bachelor of Engineering in Electronics and has served as a technology thought leader in various organizations, with 8+ years of experience in executive roles, including CTO and CEO. Prior to his current role, he was CTO and a board member at Kashmir, where where he played a key role in expanding the company's presence in India and Southeast Asia. He has a strong background in enterprise architecture and over 15 years in the field. He has a proven track record of solving complex business problems. He is a regional mentor of change for AIM and NITI Aayog. His extensive industry experience includes IBM and Red Hat, where he made significant contribution to the company's growth. He's a recognized speaker and contributor in the open source community and is dedicated to promoting well-being through volunteer work. Before we invite Mr. Khuperkar to give his talk, I would request His Excellency, the Ambassador of India, to kindly give the introductory remarks.
Namaskar, my very warm welcome to you, Sandeep ji, and my warm greetings to all friends who are here and also friends who are connected with this program through virtual platform. I am very delighted to host this program because I have been in Ireland for a little more than 1 year, and I feel really inspired by the complementarity in the startup and innovation segment that I see. India, is the fastest growing major economy, and also it has become a really big vibrant cluster of startup and unicorns. Third largest, more than 80,000 startups are registered in India and more than 100 unicorns in India. It's a very bustling area for creativity and innovation entrepreneurship, and our Prime Minister Modi personally attaches very high importance to unleashing the full potential of India's youth. On the other hand, in Ireland, I see it's a very unique country. As the economy is a very unique economy because just 5 million population, but it is the base of about 1,700 multinational companies, and around 1,000 American multinational companies are here. Also, in terms of the startup and innovation ecosystem, the cutting-edge educational facilities and also the centers of incubation and supporting entrepreneurship and innovation and hand-holding funding that is available here. It's also a very attractive ecosystem. And Ireland has, I believe, more than 25,000 startups. And also, more significantly, Ireland has highest success rate in converting ideas into successful entrepreneurship. The success rate in Ireland is about 16 to 17%. The European Union's average is just 6-7%. And in India, the average is still just 1 to 2%. So I do believe that just by learning from each other's experience, both sides can benefit. India brings on the table some really unique assets and advantages, like our huge market, huge talent pool, fast-growing economy, diversity of problems, and therefore absorption capacity of range of solutions which no other country can absorb. Similarly, Ireland can provide us its own very interesting entrepreneurial ecosystem and also unique connectivity with Europe, UK, also the transatlantic ties. So I have been really trying my best to bring the youth, especially in the tech sector, together and create a platform where friends from both sides can have open conversation, exchange our views, build friendship, so that new ideas come up, new partnerships emerge. And that is why I feel this is a very historic lecture for me. I have been really eager to have this kind of. This is what I have been looking for past 2 years, about 1 year or so. Because you are a true icon of youth energy of India, and also you are an embodiment of real friendship between India and Ireland. You have first-hand experience of Irish system. You also have very deep knowledge of Indian system. So I think your presentation today would be of tremendous significance for our young students who are studying here, young students in India, young entrepreneurs who are looking for ideas and some kind of initial catalytic thoughts. So I'm very delighted that you have kindly accepted our invitation. Once again, very warm welcome. Please come and share your thoughts. I'm really eager to listen to you.
Can I use this?
Yes.
Yeah. That's it. So first of all, thank you very much, and it's an immense honor for me and all of us to be here standing in front of you today and sharing our experience. Thank you very much, His Excellency, Indian Ambassador to Ireland, Shri Akhilesh Mishra Sarji, and thank you for this opportunity to us. First thing, let me try to set some context, and I will try to talk from heart here, because this is not a business meeting, but this is something, we want to share and learn. So I will try to talk mostly from my heart here. So I would like to set a little bit context that when any startup, it tries to go to other region apart from their country, it's not only about the benefits what they are getting there. It's more about the cause which should resonate. It is about the cause. Because in personal life also, if we see that, if we connect to someone, we connect more because of the cause. And that is, which goes for a long time. So here, we being here in Ireland, DSW, Data Science Result, is not just because of economics or business reason. It's a little bit beyond that. It's a deep connection what these two countries share among each other. The connection which is built on the passion of innovation. The connection which is built on the passion of, progressing the country. The connection which is built on, the love for entrepreneurship. So this is the cause. And this is the cause which when we were thinking about that what we should do, and because we wanted to get global and where we should be positioning ourselves, these were some of the things which really reinforced our decision to come here. I will talk about that later. But before that, a lot of things are contributing when you try to foster the collaboration. So it's not only to nation, but it's about globally what is happening. And here I would like to little bit touch base on the G20 presidency, which is with India, commenced at 1st December, on 1st December 22, and the meeting started from January. Our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji mentioned here that we have to look for oneness, and he also tried to base a theme on spirituality for this G20 presidency. And he also mentioned in his first speaking, when he was speaking about commencing of this, he also did mention that, it's about looking at human-centric globalization. So while globalization is happening for multiple things, technology, business, economics, but everything has to be human-centric. Whatever business we do today, whatever we do, it somewhere touches the human life at the end of the day. So if we are doing something, it has to be considered in a way that we are contributing into the social cause. At the end, it is touching to the human life. Even AI touches to the human life, right? So that is where this G20 presidency with the theme of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This means that one earth, one family, and one future. So it's about all the countries coming together and trying to see that how we can learn and share from each other. Moving forward from this, I was fortunate enough to be part of Startup 20 engagement group, and I was nominated for that, and I will be part of that for this entire year as well. This is something, an amazing thing which is happening for startups. So now I'm coming down to the relevance to the startup ecosystem globally, how it is happening. Startup 20. Earlier, if you'll see in G20, it was Business 20 engagement group. And there are a lot of other engagement groups. And Business 20 is very important because those are the large corporations which have to heavily lot other things. And startup initiatives used to be always within these B20 groups. So now what has happened? India proposed for Startup 20 engagement group, and that has been accepted by all the nations in G20, and now we have a Startup 20 engagement group which will work together to bring out a policy communique moving forward. So startup will have its own voice, and with the belief that our Honorable Prime Minister believes that startup should be with scale up. That is, startup can bring a cutting-edge innovative ideas and large corporations which can help them to scale up. So both are very important. Both are very important. So now I think we are more motivated as a startup community, to see that our innovations, our ideas will get wing to scale up because large companies will work with us. It's not a competition at all. And this has been proved in COVID times. We have seen that everywhere. When there is an emergency, when there is an urgency, the way startups have performed with agility in innovating things, and then the large companies taking it at the scale. That is an excellent example that startup ecosystem is not just about doing something in lab, producing and then trying to sell. It's beyond selling. So that is where I wanted to set a context at larger global level. Our story, it's not that we always wanted to be an airline, because nobody will identify a country and then go there. It's about, as I mentioned, cost. So when we started DSW in India, that was in October 2019, but actually we started working on entire blueprint of the platform what we are building in 2021. And that point of time, we started getting recognition for our AI platform. And the cost for starting our company was to break the luxury of AI. We want to break the luxury of AI. And what does that mean? It means that today artificial intelligence is more or less luxuries for the organizations which can afford that kind of high level of skills, which can also afford to have that large team, and which can also afford to do a lot of R&D with the technologies, because ultimately AI is the tools. And the science what we apply on data is data science. And the data scientists needs this too. And data is with everyone. Small, large, medium segment. And everybody wants to leverage and needs to leverage artificial intelligence capabilities to bring more insight from the data so that they can provide value to the consumer. So that was our thought when we started this company, that we should able to build something which will try to help break this luxury of AI and it can make AI accessible to everyone. With that thought we started, and we started building in India. We got good recognition in India. But while doing that, one thing was coming to our mind, for any startup, expansion cannot happen in first year. You can't do expansion because you have limitation of funds, you have limitations in terms of bandwidth, in terms of skills, small team. But we thought that we would need expansion, not as a business expansion, but what we are building, we believe that will change the game globally. And it should not be restricted in one country. It should go beyond this. It should go to the enterprises globally. And that's where we started thinking that, how we can do this. And we saw that, even in G20 there are 20 nations, but out of that one is EU, which has by itself 27 countries, almost close to 45 European countries, and a very close proximity with US. So we thought that, being in India itself is a huge market. But then you will be consumed completely when you are in India, cater to the Indian market. But if we have to take this game-changing platform globally, then what would be the best place for us? And that's where we thought that, we started doing our research. We thought, why not Ireland? Because that is a place which can give us the gateway for EU, which can give us a very good proximity to US. So being in Ireland, this entity in Ireland can focus getting global into EU and US to start with. That was the thought. And then we started doing more research, which I will share in the slides to come. And then we came here and we got so beautiful support actually. We are welcomed with the open arms, I will tell you. Today I would like to mention here that National College of Ireland, they actually supported us so much. They liked the idea of the platform. They have given us office here for 3 years in their incubation center in Dublin 1. So that kind of support we saw, that kind of passion for innovation and welcoming people from any country and seeing that how it can complement each other and we can grow. We participate in Dublin Tech Summit here. And we were actually surprised to see that, we also came in top 8 with our idea. So the way it was getting encouraged and welcomed, and then we saw that there is a very vibrant startup community in Ireland. We are very much fortunate to be part of that community. And they are sharing and learning. There is nothing like, this is my idea, this is your idea. So I just saw a complete difference. It's more than competition. It's like creating a larger pie, complementing each other's idea and trying to see that what best we can build, which we can take globally. So that was our story actually, and that is where we started in Ireland last year. We have office here in National College of Ireland, and we are building team here, and we are also doing a lot of innovation and R&D in Ireland entity itself. But while doing this, we also saw that we wanted to be very clear that there has to be reason. We saw that there is a synergy in terms of the way India is producing startups, the way Ireland is producing startups, the way ecosystem has been built for supporting the startup. We started seeing that synergy, because here I would like to give one analogy that even if we have best of seed with us, if we sow that seed, what is required for that? A conducive environment. For that seed to go to the fullest potential. If I sow the seed of mango tree, I need a conducive environment for that seed to become planted and to give beautiful mangoes. Right? It's not about seed. I'm not going to work every day on that seed. That's the thing we saw here. It's a very conducive environment here for startup. If we take startup as a seed to grow to the fullest potential. And that is where we first saw that there is a lot of synergy. In 2021 itself, when this was, as you mentioned, sir, 25,000 startups. So it was recorded 25,000 startups here. The success rate is very high here because of the environment, the ecosystem. And we also saw that the growth, that means the sustainability is good. It's not that you are just opening a startup and you are closing it, because I have seen a lot of good products, which may not have, got that kind of momentum. But I'm seeing here that, it's a lot of support. Even if you are saying that probably I'm not seeing a success, but so much of support from marketing, sales, GTM. So we saw that there is a synergy here that we should be here. A lot of text here. I would not like to go with all this text, but very important point for us as an Indian startup here is a gateway to EU. It's an English-speaking country here. From here, we have an access to all the European countries and EU regions. So that was one of the prominent things for us here. And when we came here, we were aware about this access, but when we came here, we really were surprised to see that this access to the ecosystem was so bureaucratic process of filling so much of forms. It was so much, smooth for us. Like a lot of support from Enterprise Ireland. They have so many schemes, they have so much of policies, and it's not that it's only funding. It's not about funding, because funding by itself, you will see that not every startup becomes successful because of funding. So funding is important, but it's by itself is not everything. We saw here that when you associate with any of this ecosystem here, they also provide you a very good coverage in terms of mentorship. They also help you to provide a very good coverage about understanding the region, because we are new. Any startup, Indian startup, when they come here, I'm talking from Indian context, they will be new. They don't know market dynamics. So they very well take you through, what are the market dynamics, how you should plan, what should be your go-to-market strategy. And in top of that, addition to that, they also help you in making connections. This is very important, because our credibility right now is, at a very lower side, because we don't know people. But when we set up credibility with them, once they accept us in their ecosystem, any of this, Enterprise Ireland, local offices, NDRC, they make that connection with their credibility. So here, very important thing is trust. What we see is that kind of trust, that if they are introducing us, entire game is of trust. They have seen that innovation, but the trust is there that yes, these guys are going to, stand to the commitment for which I am introducing them. So that is something we saw. And in fact, if anybody who would like to go for the details, there are so beautiful schemes and so beautiful, programs what all of this offer to all the startups. And this is very important, because one is that, where you go for funding, GTM, but this is very important where you can go for incubations, incubators, and accelerating your businesses to the next level. So much of ecosystem, there are so many people who are there who are ready to help you. Only thing what we need to do is ask for that help. We have to be very, very cognizant of the fact that we are asking that help. We are telling them that this is what we are doing. This is what is our passion. And this is where they will also help you. Because I have seen that the passion for growth, as I mentioned, is equal in both the countries. And we are inspired because of our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, the way he has supported the startup ecosystem. I am seeing the same thing here. So much of strong ecosystem over here. I would say the ecosystem is much more than the startups here. So they can accommodate many startups with this ecosystem. In India, so much of support, but also there are so many startups. So here, it's still very advantage, if anybody comes up, ecosystem is, they can accommodate many more startups still here. Then we started also thinking, because this is also relevant, suppose if we are getting to a region, how we'll find the skills over there? That is very important. And skills is not only about the degree, but what is happening, how people are getting trained. And we saw that, out of this 72,148 students who are graduating, out of that 23% students were in data science related courses, which was for us, for our domain. It was very exciting because we are a data science and artificial intelligence company. For us, it was so exciting that we thought that yes, we will be in the right place, not only with the ecosystem for funding and other support, but we are in a place where we will have right skill and talent for us. And if you please see this graph, which was by Europea.eu, that Ireland is a country which is having a high rate of AI adoption in enterprises. That is also exciting. Very much exciting, because till the time you touch the critical mass of adoption, with a small population, as Sir mentioned, 5 million, if you see this kind of adoption rate, that means the passion for adopting technology to enhance the business outcome is very mature here. And that was one of other aspect where we thought that, yes, we are getting into the right space, right region. As now this is a little bit more to AI. The market size, if you'll see, it's a huge market, global size for AI. That's what we are talking about, 52.2 billion by 2024. This is the global market for AI. And in that, if you'll see, the market for European is 28 for 0.28 million. So you see the market size is there. So there is a lot of potential for more players to come in. We don't have to compete. We have to grow with collaboration. This is a pure open source community kind of philosophy. Why we think today, if I had to just little bit deviate, sir, with your permission, why open source technologies are gaining so much of momentum today? It's not about that those technologies are superior and other are inferior, no. But the philosophy on which it is getting built of collaborative effort, collaborative success. That's why today we see that open source technologies have high adoption and high level of innovation with that, because everybody is getting connected to that. So point is here, whether it is technology, whether it is business, ultimately, as our Honorary Prime Minister mentioned, that it has to be human-centric globalization. Everything, because it's ultimately human to human. Whatever you do AI, you do manufacturing, whatever it is, at the end of the day, it's human to human topic, any country. So unless and until it's based on that kind of philosophy where everybody feels that yes, they are working for betterment of humankind, money and success is the outcome of that. You can't plan for money. You have to do few things right, which will give you that success and money probably. So this is a market, and this is a right place right now to tap this market in EU, because there is no cutting of pie. You can have many players here and build a pie. And that's what we want to do here with AI and data science in our coming to the end actually, but this is very important slide. I would like to emphasize here that while everybody talks about artificial intelligence, everybody talks about it's a trend. Artificial intelligence is not a trend. Artificial intelligence is not a glamour. Artificial intelligence are just in layman, if I have to say, tools. The tools what any data scientist would be using to apply science on data. And it's nowhere, it's going nowhere. It has to be here because data is generated for everything. So you need right tools. Without tools, you can't apply your science. And in that, you have to figure out the right fit tools. Now, AI has impact on every aspect of, whatever social impact, business impact. But here I would like to take a little bit step back and talk about social impact. As I said, in healthcare, data is there. If you go in remote places, you will see that there is a mismatch of stocking of the medicines, probably allocating the doctors to the healthcare centers or dispensaries. But data is there, but there is no one to mine that data at remote places and bring out that insight that how this distribution should happen. That is where AI can help. But today there is a barrier of utilizing AI capability because they can't have data scientists over there. They can't have technologists over there everywhere, right? So AI can help there, and they are waiting for AI help. That should be made possible. If you talk about environmental challenges, today climate challenge, it cannot be solved in isolation. It has to be solved with everybody's collaboration. Environmental challenges where soil erosion and all those stuff are, data is again there, which can tell you what is going to happen with the soil, what is the health of the soil, what is the health of topsoil soil. But you don't have tools everywhere in remote places and villages to take that insight from the data. That is where they are waiting for AI to create an impact. Education challenges, where you can see that what maximum students can achieve in terms of benefit from the education, how the courses should be. It can also give the insight on predictive analytics on how the courses should be, what things should be included. So point here is that we are trying to work towards overcoming these barriers. We want that the benefit of AI should go to the last mile. As I mentioned, I was fortunate enough to be in this Startup 20 inception meeting which happened in Hyderabad last month, earlier this month. There, the chair of Startup 20X, Dr. Chintan Vaishnav, he actually mentioned about the word what our respected Mahatma Gandhi said, Antyodaya. That benefit should go to the last mile, right? So Startup 20X is an Antyodaya of startup ecosystem he mentioned. Here I am saying that we want to take AI to the last mile to the people, So it should not remain luxury. It should become, something which can give everybody that benefit and touch the human life. So that is what we are doing through our platform as well, and that is what we would like to do collaboratively in India and in Ireland with the startup community, with the corporate community and everyone. This is the last slide for me to mention that why we are doing these things, why we have been accepted here with open arms, and a lot of good momentum we are seeing here, a lot of good exchange of ideas are happening. What we are doing is we are starting this initiative of Open AI Network Community in Ireland. And this is not only for Ireland, this is our initiative, and it will not be owned by us. Because anything which is owned by you may become a bottleneck. So we'll start this, we'll gain the momentum and the community. So this will be for community by community. We will give the direction for that. So in this, what we are trying to do, like Startup 20X has created a platform for all startups to come together across the G20 nations and other nations who were invited, and to bring out a common policy probably where each one can interact with each other and do business with ease. With this, we want to build a community where knowledge transfer can happen. Because without fundamental knowledge, there is no sustainability. You can do things in, spike and fluke, but you need to understand things. It's not just I am getting in AI or, machine learning or data science to earn that kind of salary. You may not go long way. You need to have fundamental knowledge about what is actually happening. What is this fundamental mathematics? What is, all things are needed for data science. So through this community, we want to share the knowledge, and we also want to learn. We want to build new products. Through this community, we want to exchange the ideas how new products can be built, what are the new challenges, what are the new, areas where AI can be applicable, and can we collaborate? It's not only DSW, we collaborate with us, as Sir mentioned, partnerships. We collaborate with other companies. We try to create products in collaboration. So that is the objective. And the first activity under this community, the OpenAI Network community, what we are doing is a meetup, which is on 16th. Yeah. So that date, I think they will announce the date. So meetups will be there, workshops will be conducted. We'll be doing sessions for students here. We'll be trying to, in fact, not only students, we'll try to teach the teacher kind of stuff, where we'll try to see that it's not only what we share, but we share with someone who can share further. So that's our holistic idea about this initiative. And these are our priorities, what I mentioned, to not only strengthen the industry, but academics, academicians, and talking to them, learning from them. They have a very good theoretical and fundamental knowledge of the subject, and startups have a good experience of failing and succeeding with applying that. So I think both this community, industry and academic community, can learn from each other and build something very big. So that is where we are, sir, and with this I would say that we are looking forward for a very collaborative success here, and we are very much excited to be here and growing, not only our organization, but with collaboration, we want to work with other organizations to see that how we can bring this AI capabilities to the last mile of people. Even if it is a small industry, they should be able to leverage that. That's the idea here. With this, I would like to, thank you very much.
Any questions? Or anyone? Dennis?
I just wanted to ask to check with you in this endeavor that you have had and experienced so far. Have you encountered any problems in your work here with, for example, because a lot of the work involves data, so with GDPR, for example, data sharing, and other non-visible barriers that there might be, because specifically you talked about the EU. So are there some things like this that you have, in your experience so far, come across? And if so, how do you plan to address this?
Okay. It's a very good question actually, because whenever you are in a region where you are also not incumbent of that region, you will definitely have challenges. Challenges will be there. Challenges of your acceptability. They should accept you, and then the acceptability of what you are building. So challenges will be there. What we are seeing is that, when we are working with the startup community, so sir, there is a very huge startup community here, okay, and we have that group. I think how much British? 200 people? More than 200. More than 200. Vibrant startup community here, and we all are part of that. Every week or something like that, 4 times in a week, we all meet. It's a very vibrant group from different industries. So challenges are there, sir, as you mentioned. But the only way what we are seeing to progress through that challenge, I'm not saying overcoming, but progressing through that challenge, to the next level is by collaborating with the local entities. Like suppose if we have to work from here in Spain, if we have to work with other regions, there are organizations who are already there and who are working with their customer ecosystem. So only thing what we are seeing is that we collaborate with them, we help them grow, and they help us get into the market. This is one of the way we are seeing that, because what we are doing, if they find that it's an incremental to what they are doing, there is a urgent synergy. Because everybody wants to progress in the way they are doing their business. It's not only about money, but something new. Even if today you have a lot of money, you will still be impatient, what new to do. So if that progression is through collaboration. So right now we are seeing that with data, yes, it's a policy. So you have to go through the adhering to the compliances and policy. So you have to ensure that whatever you are building has to be in line with those compliances. So that's a different challenge. That's a business challenge which you have to anyway overcome. There is no sideways to that. But other challenges of collaboration, other challenges of taking your business to the different region, we are seeing that it works very best through collaboration with different entities, so everybody gets a chance to grow. Thank you, sir.
What is your message to young students who are like Indian students? We are 8,000-9,000 Indian students, mostly in master's courses or PhD courses. So what would be your message to students here who are fresh, who are studying on the verge of completing their degrees, and also similar students in India? If you are looking for like graduating young fresh graduates, what message would you give them in terms of your own first-hand experience of starting your own venture?
True, sir. By the way, sir, I'm also adjunct professor in engineering college in Mumbai. So most of the time I do lectures to engineering students. But coming back to your question, sir, one thing is very important, and what I have been saying whenever I get chance to work with youth, young minds, is that don't try to gain knowledge as a point in time, because whatever we are doing today, it goes back in the fundamental knowledge. Let's try to be fundamentally strong what we are trying to do. That is one thing. Foundation should be very strong. Just don't try to learn some language or programming or something just for the sake of getting a job. Getting a job is a result. But if you just secure a job, you may not grow, because the people whom we see growing beyond a certain level, there has to be something different than, they don't know everything. But then also they may have higher packages, they may have higher level of, opportunities. There has to be something different. And that different is, you have to internalize what you are doing. Second thing, sir, here what I would like to, I normally tell all the students is that, don't just try to see that, whether I have to go out of India, or, whether I have to go to US or any other country, dollar, euros, like that, because that's not very long term. It should happen with a cause. It should happen with a cause. I am seeing a lot of students who are coming here to do this, masters. Very good, because this country gives that an environment to do the masters, and actually there is a lot of opportunity. So students from India are definitely going to have a very good opportunity in Ireland and European countries right now, because the need of this skill is very important. You have a lot of people in India who are skilled at this point of time, so there is a lot of competition in terms of that. But here there is still more appetite to have these skills. So I would say that yes, the future is bright. And last thing, sir, with your permission, don't try to see that I have to be entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is a mindset. You can have the same mindset when you are working on job. So it's not about, no, I will not do job, I will go for entrepreneurship. It's not the kind of thing you should think of also. It's nothing, but just starting a company on paper, incorporating, becoming a director of that, it makes no sense. So even if you are employed anywhere, you can still have that mindset and attitude of entrepreneurship in that limit to do something more, going beyond call of duty, doing something which can help people around you to elevate. With that mindset, if you start company, there are higher chances that you'll be able to take it for a sustainable period of time. Because when you start company, you should accept one thing, that you may not be everything, you may not be the best, but you know that how you can be with the best people, how you can have that kind of collaboration. So entrepreneurship, you only do start company when you think you are ready. It's not only technology; it's about the holistic mindset to start the company. So yeah.
Sorry, just one more question I wanted to ask. We heard the statistics about the 17% conversion and 1% conversion between Ireland and India. So, do you have any points from which you have been able to observe or pick up, make for the success in conversion here, the higher rate, which perhaps we could use, apply in perhaps some things that we are not doing yet, or we are not doing it in a way that enhances that rate, brings it higher, so that we get a much better benefit from all the startups that we have.
This is also a wonderful question, actually. Okay. But there are different aspects to this, the way it is happening, because that 1% is also huge there. Okay. But because that's why we are seeing 107 unicorns in India. So that 1% looking at 1.4 billion is huge, actually. Okay. But one thing I would like to mention here and highlight is that what is happening today is everybody is without thinking ahead of the time, just starting with point in time idea. And what happens with that? You incorporate, like somebody coming out of the MS. They just get to hear some challenge somewhere there, and they feel that this is an opportunity. So the research aspect should come in. To do a little bit of research, what is that is going to happen? What is that? I'm not saying that as per research everything will happen like that, but impromptu decision of just starting something based on the current challenge, and without doing research of what is happening in that space, how people are working on that, what has been done in past for that. That research aspect, not only in startups, research aspect overall, I think holistically is required from our students back there to do research, not just scoring marks. So that research capability should improve. The second thing is, here I would like to add, a very good combination of people in startup is required. It's not only about 25 years or 26 years, but definitely there are people with that kind of zeal of 40 plus. So this combination is also required. That increases the chances of company going beyond, because those guys, they bring that kind of experience and value and seen a lot of failure, success. These guys bring fresh ideas. So as we are saying in G20, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, so collaborative oneness. So right now what happens, there will be 3-4 founder, all are 25. So sometimes that gets themselves also in trouble. There has to be a fine balance over there. So those are few things which increases your chance of going to long term and building, taking your innovation to scale.
Yeah.
That's it. Thanks.
Hi, Sandeep.
Yeah.
Considering that you have spent 25 years in the tech space in India, you have seen how startup the ecosystem developed in India. You have got a taste of how things happen in Ireland, and there is a slight, I will not say slowdown, but we have seen there is an impact in tech jobs, and the funding has been slow in Europe in the last 6 months. So is this the right time to come to Ireland as a startup? That's one. Secondly, what is the timeline that a startup from India should look at in terms of moving to Ireland or starting a business in Ireland? What is the timeline that they should look at in terms of preparing themselves and getting here? So if you can touch upon this one.
Yeah, sure. Getting to your question before that, let me also mention that not everybody has to go to different regions. As I mentioned in our story, that we saw that what we are building has to go global, and that was the cause. And then we saw that if we have to go global, this is strategically located where we can address EU and close proximity with US. So not everybody has to just leave their country and go to the other region. So they have to also see that what business they are into, which is more localized, which can be globalized. That is one thing. Apart from saying this, slowdown, yes, slowdown is there, slowdown will be there. But we need to also see which segment you are into. If I have to talk about DSW, which is in the deep tech AI segment and data science segment, as we saw in COVID times, the way digital, acceptance increased, same way we are seeing that, for AI, the adoption will gain a lot of momentum. Because it's not about cutting jobs. So people say that if it's AI, people may lose job. No, people will not lose job. You have to get reoriented to that skill. Same thing happened when computers came. People thought that jobs will go. No, you have to reorient. If you are not keeping up to the speed of the changes which are happening, then you feel that you are losing the job. But there are a lot of opportunities. And there is actually, in fact, I would mention that there is a gap between what industry needs and what, the skills are there outside. So a lot of positions are vacant, actually. So that is there. And you can remind timeline for coming to, that's what I said. So there is nothing like timeline, because every business has to see that. For us, the timeline was now, even though we had a limitation with bandwidth and funding, because if our platform doesn't go global now, it would lose the time to market. So for us, timeline was now. For someone, the timeline would be like expansion. So we are not expanding, we are extending. But some businesses, they would do their stuff in India and then they will say, I want to now expand. So that would be their expansion timeline. So it depends, but I think so that, moving to the island is one of the space a lot of companies want to tap EU and US market. So this is very much strategically located to tap that market potential. So I hope I did justice with your question. Yeah.
I thank our speaker, Mr. Khuperkar, for such amazing and insightful talk. And I also would like to thank our audience as well for their presence. I would request everyone to please proceed for the refreshment outside. But before that, we would like to present our token of appreciation to Mr. Khuperkar to be here and acknowledge us about the AI future in
Thank you.
global.